How long have you been a real estate agent?
1978. I guess that puts me, 37 years?
Do you consider real estate your passion?
Yes. Yeah.
As much as you love music?
Yeah. Well, music's a hobby. Real estate, really, when you're working with good people, it's the best business in the world. And when you're not working with good people, it can be a terrible business. So you just have to work with quality people. Ethics, the importance of ethics is it's the same in any business. Real estate is no different because it's at the top of the list. If you're not ethical and you don't have trust and people don't like you, that idea in business that ethics and has no part in profit is a Milton Friedman thing that's totally incorrect. So yeah, if you're not ethical, you end up with the Real Estate Council of Ontario. You're eventually going to be in trouble. I think a home is it reflects the character of the person that's in it. There's some people that want a home. They just want a park. They just want a place to sleep. So, and that could be a condominium. It can be anything. Most of the time. The characteristics are the same. They want safety and security. They want a good investment. I think you either disclose everything or you're cutting corners. So if there's anything that can affect a buyer's decision, really should be in it. If you've got a mortgage that you can assume or something like that, but you've got to disclose pretty well everything. And sometimes the sellers don't tell you everything that they know. So all you can do is ask. I always recommend a buyer get a home inspection. That's why I don't have many problems, because I even put it in the offer. If I have a buyer that's got an offer, I put a home inspection in it, and I put a financing clause in it. And then if they don't need the financing and they don't want the home inspection, they stroke it out and initial it. So I've made sure that I've told them, in my opinion, what you need to do. So that's where you get in trouble. You'll get in trouble with financing, because you'll get people that buying a house that don't qualify because you didn't put the financing condition in, or you didn't put the home inspection in, and all of a sudden the roof's leaking. I think because we're on commission, I think that's the root of all the problems. Every other profession is paid for their time, and I think that's a problem, because when it causes some people to cross over that line ethically to survive, because they're not getting paid. If they were getting paid for their time, they would probably be more ethical. You need to involve. The more you can involve the seller in your marketing, the more likely your house is going to sell. Mm-hmm. It's like if you could ever go to a seller and say, "Listen, you give me $1,000 retainer, mm-hmm. right? If it sells, it comes off the commission."
Right.
And I love the idea of the Toronto Real Estate Board charging $1,000 to put the house on the market, mm-hmm. because regardless of what we're saying, I've done enough research and I've been down at the Toronto Real Estate Board, mm-hmm. that half of all the houses expire, mm-hmm. even in this market.
That's interesting. And why do you think they're expiring?
Because the sellers are testing the market.
Yeah.
And the real estate agent is putting any price they want.
Yeah.
They're not prepared to walk away.
It wasn't until I actually separated from my husband, and I was a stay-at-home mom, that I had to enter the workforce again, and I had to kind of think about what I wanted to do, and I wanted to really do something that I was passionate about, because for me that was very important. I want something where every morning I get up, I'm happy to go there and do it, and everything like that. Especially to me, it was important at a time that maybe when things weren't always going well, that you were still doing something that you loved, right? And that's how I fell back into it again. So that was sort of my whole background and experience. So I mean, I'd love to hear your feedback and how you got into it, and what advice would you give?
It sounds to me that you're not doing an awful lot wrong. Because one thing I'm saying about when you go into that business, it's something I wish that learning as I think if you're going to be in the business, and this is if you happen to have that second income, right? And you start to go and you start being able to get involved in the buying and selling of real estate, like you were doing, and that was my point about that other thing. So that if selling isn't great, then your renovations are good. In other words, you buy something in Weston and you fix it up, and you've got to be a real good numbers person. You've got to have your contractors down cold. And you have a team, but you're doing that. When I look after a buyer, I want to make sure that they've got the right location. That they're close to their schools, they're close to work. Sometimes people don't think about it. What I do is I show 4 or 5 houses, and I can tell in 30 seconds whether it's the right house. And then if in 3 or 4 houses, I ask them, what do you like about it, what don't you like about it, and then I say about 4 or 5 houses, either I don't have enough information that you're giving me, or I'm not listening properly. So I have to reassess after 4 houses. I generally know my people so well that I don't have to show a lot of houses. I pretty well know in my mind exactly what they're looking for. Whether they're artsy, whether they want a house that's renovated and cute, whether they've got children. When they walk into the house, their eyes light up.